The morning sun cast long shadows across the red rocks of Moab as Loris Maxwell ran her hand along the scratched yellow paint of her Jeep Rubicon. The vehicle, while not as polished as the custom-built monsters surrounding her in the staging area, held something far more precious than chrome and custom parts. It carried her father's legacy within its worn leather seats and weathered frames. As fellow competitors bustled around their high-tech rigs, Loris reached into her glove compartment and pulled out a tattered leather notebook, its pages yellow with age and crinkled from years of desert dust. Her father's precise handwriting filled each page with detailed trail maps and mechanical wisdom gained from decades of navigating these treacherous canyons. She hadn't planned on bringing it today, but something told her she might need more than just her modern upgrades to survive the Moab Madness competition. The crowd gathered as the announcer's voice boomed across the staging area, introducing the competitors. Veterans with decades of experience and cutting-edge equipment drew cheers from the spectators, while Loris's introduction as a rookie was met with polite, if somewhat skeptical applause. She couldn't blame them. Her Jeep looked almost ordinary compared to the lifted monsters with their custom fabrication and satellite navigation systems. As she waited for her start time, Loris noticed different reactions from her fellow competitors. Some offered encouraging smiles, while others barely concealed their dismissive glances. A seasoned driver named Mike Thompson, whose reputation preceded him, approached her Jeep with genuine curiosity. "Your father was Jack Maxwell, wasn't he?" he asked, recognition flickering in his eyes. "He taught me everything I know about the old trails. Shame he never got to compete himself." The first section of the course proved challenging but manageable. Loris's modern suspension upgrades helped her navigate the initial rock crawling section with surprising ease. Her confidence grew with each obstacle cleared. But then came the infamous Devil's Backbone, a narrow ridge with steep drop-offs on both sides. As she approached, her high-tech navigation system suddenly flickered and died, leaving her stranded in one of the most dangerous sections of the course. Panic threatened to set in as she watched other competitors' GPS markers moving steadily along their routes. With trembling hands, she reached for her father's notebook. The old hand-drawn maps showed something interesting, a lesser-known route that skirted the edge of the official trail. According to his notes, it was an old mining path, technically within course boundaries, but forgotten by modern GPS systems. Taking a deep breath, Loris made her choice. She turned off the main trail, following her father's detailed descriptions. The path was rough and seemingly untouched for years, but her father's notes proved accurate. Each landmark appeared exactly where he had drawn it, leading her through a series of switchbacks that bypassed the most treacherous section of Devil's Backbone. As she emerged from the alternate route, she spotted something unexpected. Mike Thompson's custom rig was stuck at an awkward angle, its front wheel dangling precariously over a drop. Without hesitation, Loris pulled over. Mike's high-tech winch had failed, and his situation was deteriorating. Flipping through her father's notebook, she found a diagram for an old-school recovery technique using basic equipment and the natural terrain. The decision to stop cost her valuable time, but working together, they successfully recovered Mike's vehicle using the technique from her father's notes. As they prepared to part ways, Mike's expression had changed from gratitude to respect. "Your father's wisdom just saved both our necks," he admitted. "Sometimes the old ways are the best ways." The rest of the course became a dance between modern technology and vintage knowledge. When her electronic throttle control started acting up on a steep climb, Loris remembered her father's notes about reading the terrain and letting the vehicle's momentum work in her favor. Each challenge became an opportunity to blend the best of both worlds, modern engineering enhanced by time-tested techniques. As she approached the finish line, Loris found herself in third place, with just enough time left to potentially overtake the leaders who were struggling with a particularly nasty rock garden. Her modern traction control system suggested one route, but her father's notes indicated another. In that moment, Loris realized something profound. This competition had never been about winning a trophy. It was about finding her own path and honoring the knowledge passed down through generations. She chose the harder but more reliable route, finishing just minutes behind the leaders. The crowd's reaction surprised her. They weren't just cheering for a podium finish. They were celebrating something more meaningful. Word had spread about her heroic assist of Mike Thompson and about her unique approach to the course. During the awards ceremony, Mike insisted on sharing his second-place prize money with her, but Loris declined. Instead, she accepted something far more valuable, an invitation to help design next year's course, incorporating both modern and traditional elements. As the sun set over the red rocks, Lara sat in her dust-covered Jeep, her father's notebook open on her lap. She had entered the competition hoping to prove herself against the veterans, but she'd discovered something far more valuable: the perfect balance between honoring the past and embracing the future. The real victory wasn't in the trophy or the recognition, but in the understanding that true innovation doesn't always mean discarding the old ways. Sometimes the best path forward is one that bridges the gap between tradition and progress, just like the bridges her father had built across these same canyons decades ago.